Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me, and here's my review of Monsters. And as a bonus, I'm going to talk about the writer-director of this one, Gareth Edwards. Give you my 2 cents on that. But before we get started, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share this video, get it out there to as many people as possible. We're a new channel. It really helps us out quite a bit. Okay, so that being said, let's go to the movie. I was lucky enough to have a friend of mine recommend this movie. And I already liked Gareth Edwards' work before, so I was intrigued and I really wanted to watch it. And what was really cool about it was that he said, don't expect this to be an action movie. It's not. Don't expect this to be a big monster movie. It's not. It's really about these 2 characters. And that's what's actually amazing about it. But again, it's a slow burn. And I don't like to tell you guys too much about in my reviews. I really want you guys to go and experience it. So my recommendation is absolutely go ahead and watch this film. Do it if you have a good home theater system, one with a good surround sound system, that's what you want for sure. It helps heighten especially some of the things that are going on. But let me go back to this. So it's really centered around 2 main characters and their interactions and the kind of journey that they are on in this film. Are there monsters? Yes. Are they cool? Yes, they actually are pretty cool. And I think that generally going from talking about the director and what his focus on was this movie was something that was just absolutely amazing. If you don't know much about it, I'm going to give you real bare bones here. The movie was made for like $500,000. In Hollywood terms, it was like super budget. It was like nothing, okay? And what he did was he did kind of what he did in The Creator. He went with a skeleton crew. The main actors went around to these different areas, filmed things, asked people, hey, is there something cool around here that we could film? And they gave them literally locations and they went, and since it was so small, handheld stuff, it worked out spectacularly. And then Gareth Edwards actually he focused on doing special effects. So almost every single special effect in this movie was done by him in his house, sometimes in his bathtub. I watched an interview with him and it was amazing. So keep that in mind. But again, it's a slow burn movie about these characters. It's not super action. It's more about them and that relationship, as I said. But I highly recommend you watch it. I really do. I'm going to actually give you a quick score on this one. I'm going to say it's about an 80. It's an 85 at the most, but I'm going to say 80, 85, okay? The reason I'm giving you that little kind of like up and down a little bit is because it depends on who's watching it. Me, I thought it was actually great. My kids, my wife watched it with me. They thought it was great, but it's not what you expect. And I thought that was actually intriguing about it. And I think that it kind of drove my enjoyment of it. And so what you would expect from watching the trailer is not what it was. And I thought it was really, really, really well done. So I want to go back to Gareth Edwards because I want to kind of gush on him for a little bit about a few things. This movie is what put him on the map. And if you don't know the other things that he did, I will tell you, and you'll of course know what they were. Okay, so this movie put him on the map. Got people going, wow, look at this, look what this guy did. Super small budget, this was amazing. So his next film that he did was Godzilla in 2014. So this movie, Monsters, came out in 2010. So 4 years later, he did Godzilla. And then 2 years after that, he did a Star Wars story, Rogue One, which of course everybody knows as well. And that's regarded as one of the better things that have come out of Disney and their Star Wars, so their IP. So it's pretty impressive. And then on top of that, then he took, oh my gosh, almost 7 years, and he came out with the movie The Creator. I've got a review on that. You can watch that down below. And one of the things that was so magnificent about that was he actually went back to his roots of what he did in this film. Small crew, handheld cameras, very, very small budget, and he went to all these different locations, and he knew that was going to be a character in itself, these locations. And then all the special effects came afterwards, but he told a story that was his. It was unique. It was interesting. And he did say that he had taken a lot of influence from other films that he had seen and kind of put that into this story. And you can see that, but it's more of an homage, and it's more of a together, mixing those things together to make his own film. And I loved The Creator. I think that it just missed at the end a little tonally, and it kind of like had some conveniences that didn't fit very well. But going back to him what's so really interesting about him is how well he does his movies. And even though he had a big IP with Godzilla, which I thought was actually really, really good, and it was probably the best Godzilla movie where they brought in some story background that you could kind of hook onto and feel invested in. Because some of the more recent ones have been, like, in my opinion, complete trash as far as that's concerned. If you want to go see the monsters crash into each other and have a great time, that's so totally cool. I do the exact same thing. But that film, he incorporated the story of the people, and it got you hooked and got you invested in it, and you cared about them. And I thought that was actually a spectacular move and probably underrated as far as that's concerned. Now, Star Wars, you're working with Disney, you've got this huge juggernaut, you've got a lot of people with their hands in the cookie jars doing all kinds of things. So I still enjoyed that movie tremendously, and knowing that he did this and then going to the creator again was just a marvelous thing. I think he's fantastic as a director. I think he's gonna go places. I hope he picks and chooses his projects carefully, and follows his heart and soul, what he has as gut instinct, and what when he's allowed to do what he wants to do. I think he creates some things very, very special. Now, am I going to say he's, like, in my opinion, a Denis Villeneuve? No, he's not that. He's not a Christopher Nolan, but he's a ridiculously capable director and writer, and he does a marvelous job with what he's given. I highly recommend you check this movie out. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen The Creator, watch that. And of course, if you haven't seen Godzilla, and if you haven't seen Rogue One, I don't know what planet you live on, but those are great films. But seeing what he's done in his body of work so far, in my opinion, is pretty spectacular. Anyway, that wraps it up for me today. Just wanted to spill my guts about this movie. I thought it was really, really interesting, really good. Watch it. Just temper your expectations, realizing that it's not a big action. There's not a crazy stuff going on all over the place. It's very subdued. It's about these two characters and their connection. That's what it's about, but the movie is ridiculously well done, really, really well acted, and I think that you'll enjoy it. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. We'll catch you guys in the next one.